Right. Before we get to the SEBI board meet, look what's flashing at the bottom of our screens. It's the banking secretary who has announced that he's asked for preferential treatment for the power sector from stringent norms. The RBI feels possible to finalize resolution plan within the existing framework. Task force to be set up to consider sectoral exemptions. Power stakeholders to submit their suggestions by Monday. Banking Secretary will then be reviewing the suggestion and deciding the next course of action. Remember, there was a big meeting today on between the Power Secretary as well as the Banking Secretary on the troubled power sector. 11 distressed assets in all. The Allahabad High Court had given into the Power Ministry's suggestion of exempting all of them altogether from the stringent Feb 12th NPA circular. So there was a crucial meeting today, and this is just the initial information we have. We'll be getting our colleague Rituparna Nath on the show to decode all of this and what it means, but it's pretty apparent there's going to be a busy weekend for the power producers. They'll have to finalize the suggestions for the finance ministry. So that's as far as this goes. And do we have Rituparna with us?
One was the three regulations, which actually two have been redrafted and one amended. And this is in series of efforts what SEBI is putting in to simplify, rationalize the regulations to make them more readable. Over a period of time, there have been a lot of FAQs and circulars which have been issued. So the idea is to bring them in the same regulation so they are at one place, and also take policy views in terms of the experience gained and various acts which are coming the Government of India, like Bankruptcy Act, various other such legislations. So the first one is issue of capital and disclosure requirements, ICDR regulations. Some of the items which have been brought in or the rationalizations which have been done, the important ones. One is rationalized disclosure requirements, definition of promoter group rationalized, definition of group companies made more specific, permitted issuers to meet shortfall of up to 10% in minimum promoters' contribution from institutional investors, reduced time for announcement of price band before issue opening from 5 days to 2 days, increased threshold for submission of draft letter of offer to SEBI for rights issue from 50 lakhs to rupees 10 crores, widened anchor investor category, aligned underwriting provisions to requirements of minimum subscription, reduced minimum anchor investor size from rupees 10 crore to 2 crore in case of SME IPOs. Another regulation which also has been, in fact this one has been amended, is on substantial acquisition of shares and takeover regulation 2011. And the amendments are aimed at simplification of language, removing redundant provisions and inconsistencies, updating references to Companies Act, other SEBI regulations, and as I said that circulars, FAQ and all. One important amendment I'd like to mention is to grant additional time for upward revision of open offer price, which has been included. Buyback of securities regulations have been rewritten. They were earlier of 1998 vintage, and the new regulations are again aimed at simplifying language, removing redundancies, bringing them in line with Companies Act provisions, and buyback period has been properly defined with a view to have clarity for the issuers and the shareholders. So these are three regulations which have been either redrafted or amended. The next item which came for board's consideration was Gandhi Committee on Review of Regulation and Relevant Circulars pertaining to stock exchanges, clearing corporations and depositories. That is, they are called market infrastructure institutions. So some of the important issues which have been decided under this heading are shareholding limits held by eligible domestic and foreign entities harmonized across market infrastructure institutions. Additionally, multilateral and bilateral financial institutions, as notified by the government, have also been recommended to hold up to 15% in these institutions. Governance framework for PIDs in MMIs have been strengthened. Number of committees in such institutions rationalized. mandated these institutions to disclose resources committed towards regulatory functions and compliance, backed by an activity-based accounting, prescribed risk-based approach for computation of net worth for a clearing corporation, that is, which should be rupees 100 crore or such amount required to cover various risks. Another decision taken by the board is to do away with the category of sub-brokers, and it is authorized persons category will continue to be there, and sub-brokers could migrate to authorized person category. Next item which was decided was to take out a consultation paper for proposed SEBI regulation in respect of entities undertaking third-party assignments under securities laws, and such entities, of course, could include practicing chartered accountants, practicing company secretaries, cost accountants, valuers, monitoring agencies, etc. So this would be a consultation paper for seeking comments of stakeholders. It has been decided, the decision is to have a Section 8 company for establishment of National Center for Financial Education, in which SEBIs will contribute 30% of the share, which comes to 30 crore. And SEBI's annual report has also been approved, which will be forwarded to government for laying in the coming monsoon session of the Parliament. So these are the major decisions which were taken by the board. Now we are open for the questions. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Sir, good evening. I'm Vijay from ET now. Thanks for doing this responsibility as always. So just on the ICDR regulation, somewhere, what has been the whole objective in terms of to ensure, because we have seen the primary markets have been doing well for various reasons. Other than rationalization, is this also with an aim to ensure that more retail participation happens, and particularly is there also the provision where the time band has been reduced when it comes to disclosure or putting out the price bands? Has the timelines been reduced?
No, the timeline, I said, has been reduced from 5 days to 2 days. Okay. So that has been done. On the other issues, there are already provisions as to for participation by retail investors. What actually has been done here is, apart from some policy decisions which I said, is that ICDR had become almost unreadable. These are the issues which are generally neglected, in the sense that these need a lot of effort to streamline, to simplify. Over a period, there have been a lot of FAQs, there have been circulars, so they should be brought in one place and in the regulation itself. So it has been a task which actually should have been done perhaps much earlier, which has been done. And this is a series of actions. We have done these 3. We intend doing others also, like FPI regulation and even mutual fund regulation. So we want to simplify and rationalize. This is all going towards ease of doing business. Yeah.
So just wanted to have some idea from you with respect to the auditor exits which we've been seeing. We are seeing the kind of impact on the stock prices every other day when we are hearing some auditor resigning from some company. I understand that there are various jurisdictions which really have the authority of auditors, but in terms of SEBI being an authority with respect to the stocks, how are you trying to regulate the auditor perspective on this particular aspect, sir? And also in terms of disclosure, are you looking at making it a disclosure mandatory for companies also to report if there's anything of that sort happening?
So disclosure in line with the Kotak committee recommendations and LODR amendments which we have brought in will be mandatory from 1st April 2019. From auditors, whosoever, in terms of reporting to the exchanges. And as regards SEBI's jurisdiction on auditors, we have been taking action under the SEBI Act for auditors which have been found with misdemeanors in the securities market. And we are taking out this consultation paper on fiduciaries, which also includes auditors. So we are fully cognizant of the issue, and we are taking whatever is required to be done to safeguard the interest of investors.
सर, ये सब ब्रोकर की जो कैटेगरी आपने कहा कि हटा रहे हैं, इससे क्या फर्क पड़ेगा, ये क्यों किया जाएगा?
ये डुप्लीकेशन है. सब ब्रोकर लगभग 40,000 हैं, ऑथराइज पर्सन लगभग 2 लाख हैं. So it's a duplication of both and creating confusion. So एक ही कैटेगरी रहे और वो लगभग वही काम कर रहे हैं, तो एक कैटेगरी और जो इंटरमीडियरी की जो रजिस्ट्रेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट है वो कम हो इससे।
सर एक और जो अक्सर शिकायत आती है कि जो फार्मा कंपनियां हैं कई बार जो वाइटल इन्फॉर्मेशन होती है, खासतौर पर अगर यूएसएफडीए ने कोई एक्शन लिया है या उनकी कोई प्लान विजिट किया है, तो कई इस तरह की जानकारियां होती हैं जो टाइम पर डिस्क्लोज नहीं करती हैं, और जिसकी वजह से पिछले 2-3 महीने पिछले देखा गया था कि काफ़ी सारी वॉलेटिलिटी थी और इन्वेस्टर्स को काफ़ी इसमें नुकसान हुआ है, उनके ट्रेड गलत हुए। तो ये क्या कंसिडर किया जा रहा है कि इनके लिए कुछ अलग से किया जाए, या इस तरह की क्या मटेरियल इन्फॉर्मेशन हो जो इन्हें शेयर करना ज़रूरी किया जाए, और क्या चीज़ें जो शेयर ना करें तो काम चलेगा?
नहीं, मटेरियल इन्फॉर्मेशन शेयर करना तो अभी भी ज़रूरी है। तो अगर यूएसएफडीए ने उनके खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई की है और वो उसको नहीं डिस्क्लोज़ कर रहे हैं, ऐसे कोई चीज़ें हमारे सामने आए तो विल टेक एक्शन। ये कोई नई चीज़ नहीं है, मतलब जो मटेरियल इन्फॉर्मेशन है यूएसएफडीए का अगर इंस्पेक्शन है और उनकी रिपोर्ट है वो दैट इज़ सर्टेनली मटेरियल इन्फॉर्मेशन एंड दैट शुड बी शेयर्ड विद द स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेस इमीडिएटली।
Sir, yes, Sajid here from Bloomberg. This is regarding the Gandhi Committee report, especially with respect to share registrars and issuers. What has been the decision of the board on that?
That also we discussed. There, in public consultation, there were various views on those issues as to what should be the governance structure of those institutions. So, view taken is that what is recognized is that there are some QRTAs, the ones which are very important ones. So, the view taken is that we will have enhanced monitoring and supervision of such intermediaries, and we'll come out with the required circulars on to ensure that. That is the decision.
Sir, have you accepted the recommendations of the Gandhi
No, we have not.
Committee with respect to
We have not accepted the recommendations of the Gandhi Committee on that.
And formal paper or circular will come on this?
No, Gandhi Committee's recommendation with respect to. So it will come out on what I said on how to enhance monitoring and supervision. How that will come separately.
Reena,
I want to ask you, what's the update on the NSE co-location case in the light of the FIR that's been filed by the CBI, which has also alleged certain things on SEBI officials influencing the outcome of the report? Could you share your views on that?
So our NSE investigation report we have received. The investigation which we were doing, we have completed the examination of the investigation report, and we have initiated the enforcement actions. And it will in coming few days that enforcement action which have been initiated are likely to be completed against various entities which are involved. As regards CBI registering a case, various investigating agencies have their own jurisdiction and domain, so I really won't be able to comment on that.
Check. Yeah, so can you elaborate, like, what is the enforcement action?
No, what I am saying is it was an issue. We had set up an investigation authority last year in May as a team of officers. We have got inputs from them, we have got inputs from forensic auditors, we have got inputs from technical committee, and we actually, whatever they have recommended, we examined, we have taken a view, what is to be done, and actions are being initiated against various entities, which includes institutions and individuals. I think I'll leave it at that.
Is the action against the exchange?
Institutions and the individuals.
So this thing has also delayed the NSE IPO. So, like, does it set up with this enforcement action from your side, whatever you do?
No, that NSE IPO issue is with NSE. So this investigation is not done with a view to either facilitate or as to what happens there. This investigation has been done in co-location, and whatever actions are to be initiated, they are in the process of being initiated. In coming few days, those would have been initiated. Now, what happens to NSE IPO, I have no comments.
Hi, Pawan from Business Standard. Sir, the recent FPI circular on beneficial ownership Actually, there are a lot of India-based firms which offer FPI services, and there are also several NRIs who offer such services. They have been, we are hearing, they have been very adversely impacted with the circular. So, any comments on the?
So this circular, actually what circular states is nothing new. This just actually reiterates what are the requirements under the PMLA rules, and PMLA rules actually prescribe as to how to know beneficial ownership. So it only restates those rules. So if I mean, it's not a new thing which is being said in that circular of April 2018.
So the issue with respect to the circular was that SEBI has asked the custodians to themselves go ahead and blacklist jurisdictions if they feel that it's not coming, if the money coming through or funds coming through is not in a correct manner. But the issue with custodians face is that unless SEBI gives to us in writing, how can individually we can go and blacklist jurisdictions?
You see, beneficial ownership requirements are there. 25% for a company and 15% of a trust or individuals. And there is a concept of high risk jurisdictions. So that high risk jurisdictions, the restrictions could be more. It could be more restrictive. So custodians have been asked to on reasoned basis as to what those jurisdictions could be, and come to a uniform sort of a justification for them. And I think, to my knowledge, custodians have already actually shortlisted those jurisdictions and have agreed amongst themselves as to what those jurisdictions are.
Sir, has ICICI Bank replied back to you? And if yes, have you convinced with the reply of ICICI Bank on the ICICI K1 saga? But the second thing is, CBI has some clue that the former finance minister's son has involved in the co-location matter. So have you find any kind of finding in your investigation?
On the first question, we are yet to receive reply from ICICI. On the second question, if CBI has found something, perhaps you have to ask CBI.
Sir, hi, this is Palak here from Hindu Business Line. Sir, SEBI, CBI with regard to this NSE case has said that, SEBI officials might have connived in the case, and also, are you going to leave it to CBI to investigate, or are you also doing some investigation yourself to find out who that person may be?
You see, everyone needs to do their own job. So we started investigation into NSC co-location, and as per our wisdom and whatever resources we have finalized that. That's a highly technical and complex issue. So it took us about a year to finalize it. And I said we have initiated enforcement actions. If CBI has some information as to that there is some case against any officer of SEBI of wrongdoing or criminal misconduct, that is for them to take a view and take action as per law.
So, Priyanka here from BTV. As far as the price sensitive information was concerned, companies were expected to give you a detailed report. So, how many reports have you, got until now?
4.
This is which one?
WhatsApp
4 reports.
So we have received 4 reports. Yeah, they were asked to do their own internal investigation comeback. So we received 4 reports. We are examining them, and we are doing further investigation. Whatever required to be done, we will do it.
Sir, Avi from Reuters, on the same issue, is there any other company we are expecting SEBI to issue orders on? Because there were a list of other companies out there. And what about changes or tightening in regulations themselves around how UPSI is shared with the companies? Any action on that?
No, UPSI change in regulations. We are having this. We have a committee, Vishwanathan committee, which is looking into PIT and PFUTP issues, and they are finalizing their report, and we would take a view on that also soon. That is about the regulations of insider trading and PFUTP. So we'll soon be taking a view on that too.
Okay, and any other companies that are expected to be in under the radar of SEBI and any other orders we are expecting?
As of now, I think what is the ones which already we passed order and we received reply. We are investigating them to go further as to what needs to be done. So we are focusing on that.
Sir, Shantanu from Bloomberg. Sir, I have a question on that. Is GIFT City, some of the foreign investors have asked for concessions because the structure of the rules right now, there is some limiting factors which prohibit them from investing in these in their GIFT City setup at this point of time. And they are saying that there is no collateral requirement or capital requirement for the clearing corporation, which is commensurate with the kind of risk that they usually take. So, are they really thinking in terms of having the set of margin requirements, the sort of concession requirements that, and also they wanted a tax exemption for the entity of only.